Eu desci vou até o chão, eu desci vou até o chão, eu desci vou até o chão, até o chão, até o chão, desci vou até o chão, desci vou até o chão, eu desci vou até o chão, até o chão, até o chão.
Peace, family. QI Critical Thinking is in the building. Yes. And today we have a very important topic. First of all, I'd like to shout out to our brother group of the LGBTQ. The G men of the gentlemen's panel and L Teddy 27. Of course, shout out to you for this important topic. And the topic today, folks, is going to be why are Black women against Black gay men? Now, we're going to get to that in a minute. Now, how the show going to go today is as follows. We're going to, first of all, we're going to float questions and answers between, our panel members. As well, I'm going to start off with the little spiel, and I'm going to, sort of float us into the conversation. And then the panel members are both going to, give their, perspectives. And then after that, hopefully we'll have a few guests that might want to come on or possibly open up the phone lines. So, now that I told you how everything is going to run, let's go ahead and introduce the panel. Let me start off. DC and I are going to be gentle studs today. We're going to start off by allowing our beautiful BB Nice to go ahead and introduce herself.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome, everyone. I want to give a shout out to the gentlemen's panel, QB of the Midwest, Jay Wilson, Spill It Boy, and L Teddy, and Rebel Son.
All right, my broski. Go ahead and introduce yourself. DC Kool-Aid is in the building.
I'm DC Kool-Aid. It's normally DC Kool-Aid and Lisa. That's my wife. And I'm just on the panel, voice my opinion. I just got off a panel, so I'm like panel to panel.
Yeah. Y'all make sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's where I'm at. I'm glad to be on the panel today.
All right. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. We are the L word panel is a floating panel. Okay, so we will be going from BB Nice to DC Kool-Aid to J Dunn and to myself. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to everyone. I hope that, some of my mods come through and they drop them links in the chat. If not, we'll make sure that they're dropped, at least on the description page, if nothing else. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, especially today. All right, now that we know how everything gonna go, let me do some shout outs to the chat because we appreciate you all for the love and for the support. All right. KB Johnson in the building. Congrats on that moderator stick there, KB Johnson. KB Johnson is a barber, so y'all make sure y'all show KB some love on that subscribe button on that channel.
Hey, all right.
And look, let me before all, and I'm sorry. First of all, condolences to Jadon. Jadon is not with us.
Absolutely.
Because Jadon lost her puppy. All right, now that like a lot of y'all might not take that so serious, but you know, puppies and dogs become a good part of our life. You know, they are family. So, you know, like you know, our heart goes out to Jadon and we wish her condolences. As
Rest
well,
in peace, KJ.
As well, we want to shout out my brother DC Kool-Aid and her wife Lisa, you know, for their recent marriage. We always got to celebrate love. Ain't nothing better than love. You know what I'm saying? So I want to congratulate DC while she's on the panel. You know, for that, you know, because that's a big step. That's a beautiful thing. And, you know, we need more examples of that. So shout out DC Kool-Aid and Lisa for that example of love.
Thank you.
All right. And let's get back to the chat. Deshaun, follow y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to my brother, another G man in the building. I hope, you know, he might come through with some questions and some come on a little later. He said he's enjoying some beautiful chicken right now, and I'm jealous. But shout out and subscribe to my brother Deshaun Farley as well. Shout out to the one of my best moderators. I have to make sure I say that. I don't want my other friend to get mad or jealous. But you know, they both great. That's the Real Queen Royalty Lives. She also has great content on her page, so you make sure that you support the Real Queen Royalty Lives. All right, J Dot is in the building. J Dot the juke joint. And J Dot is funny, y'all. J Dot it puts up a lot of funny commentary that'll make you laugh. So y'all subscribe and support the brother J Dot as well. You're guaranteed a laugh and you know, so you foot tapping because he's very musically inclined. All right, shout out to Bama Girl in the building. We love that South.
Hello.
Dark and Lovely Film. Hello, shout out in the building. All right. Hey. And Lightstorm, hello, in the building. Thank you very much. Like I said, y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, and share. Because today we're gonna respond to the gentleman's panel. The gentleman panel phrase, they challenged us to a question. And y'all, this is the kind of this is no competition, this is no debate, this is all love, because as you can tell from the thumbnail at the bottom, it states that unity is a must. And towards the end, I'm gonna make sure that we know why unity is a must, especially right now in this day and time as well. You know, this is conversation like we're needed and they're needed. We're the L. See, the L can't speak for the G's. You know, only the L can speak for the L. So, you know, like we're doing what we're supposed to do and the G's are doing what they're supposed to do. So I have to commend them. And we're like brothers and sisters, you know, in this thing. And the only way, even within the LGBTQ, you know, we still lack understanding and we have to get to the point where we understand each other. And the only way we'll understand is through, you know, communication. So, you know, like I commend, and this is exactly why we set this panel up for that purpose, you know, to bring education and awareness and to not only to, you know, heterosexuals, but also, you know, to people within the community as well. All right. So Black woman versus the black gay males. And, you know, the question was, where did it start? Okay, now when we say where did it start, you know, like I'm gonna wait and hold a historical perspective because you know I don't want to go too fast. I'm just gonna say where it started on YouTube first, and I'll come back and swing through with that later. But anyways, from my understanding, it started with the T.S. Madison and the Kaya. When the T.S. Madison and the Kaya rivalry kicked off, it was like that's pretty much like the starting point of the gay black male versus the gay black woman on YouTube. As well, it spiraled over to, you know, like you know, the Sean Bradley, when like the Sean Bradley and the Pink Door, as well as the frequent use of the B word B word. And I'll tell you my perspective on that in just a minute. And this is not to bash or belittle anyone. This is just, you know, giving, you know, the facts. Okay. So let me put that out there first, because, you know, like at the end of the day, we want to bring on healing. We want to bring on unity and all of these different things. And we're not here to really attack anyone. You know, we just gonna tell the truth. All right. As well, also, you know, inspired from T.S. Madison, when T.S. Madison and the MaxiPad incident came up, where T.S. Madison was using a woman's restroom, and a female's restroom, and, you know, saw a MaxiPad and came online and sort of broadcast that. A lot of women got offended by that. Okay. So I'm gonna start right here. Let me just ask, and I guess I'll start with nope, I ain't gonna do this to y'all right now. I'm gonna wait. Okay, my opinion with the T.S. Madison and the and I left out one thing. Also Michelle Atielian. Michelle Atielian, she's always sort of phrasing the she's sort of pushed the movement of the black gay male against the black woman. You know, that's her opinion. That's how she feels. She has the right to her feelings, and she has the right to her opinion. And I can't say she's all wrong, and I can't say she's all right. In a lot of ways, with a lot of her belief systems, you know, I can empathize, sympathize, and, you know, I agree. And it's only, and I'm not going to say it's purposely, I'm going to say as well that sometimes a lot of this stuff is due to lack of knowledge, like, you know, ignorance to, you know, how different things make different groups or different people feel. All right. Now, for instance, like with the T.S. Madison and Kaya thing, most people thought that, okay, T.S. Madison ran off with Kaya's bag, you know, stole the money, stole the brand, and ran off with the bag. Now, I can't really speak to that all together, because I don't know the business aspect of what they had going on, but I can tell you from the outside looking in, it did sort of seem like that. But, you know, I can't really confirm or deny that, because I don't know, and I don't know their business agreement, you know, from the beginning. As well, with the Sean Bradley situation, you know, they're saying, like with the pink door, you know, how is a man telling a woman how to, you know, how to please, what to do with their body and how to please a man. A lot of women get offended by that, because it's, you know, get offended by, you know, the fact that, you know, they feel that, you know, that's improper for, you know, it's like they feel as though Sean Bradley's putting himself as, you know, like you know, as a hierarchy, in terms of knowing that gay men know better how to please, you know, please men. And, you know, they get offended by that. That's sort of like a, you know, like, you know, I could get it. That's sort of like a knock in the face or a hit in the face. That's sort of like, you know, saying that, you know, in a lot of ways that black women are not up to standards when it comes down to pleasing the man. Okay. And then the frequent use of the B word. Okay. Now, let me tell you how I feel about the B word. Now, there are a lot of people out here, they use it, a lot of women, they use it frequently. Me, myself, personally, I don't care to use the word. And that's just because of how I was raised. Like, you know, my family, we didn't even really believe in nicknames, because we thought that a lot of, you know, they believed that a lot of kids didn't even know their real, children didn't even really know their real names because of, you know, nicknames. So we didn't even use nicknames. And then, you know, like in my family, we also believe that, you know, you are what you allow yourself to be, or you are what you accept. Okay, now we all know what the term B means. It means a female dog. Okay, now, so me personally, I don't, you know, I'm not going to accept being called the female dog by no one, not even my friends. And I'm not going to call any other person a female dog. You know, a female dog. That's just not a term that I wish to use, and it's very derogatory, and I don't really feel like people should be referred to as animals. However, there are, you know, some people out here that you know, it's a part of their the, you know, it's a part of what they do.
It's a part
you know,
of their vocabulary. I mean, like me, I come from the hood, and we grew up calling each other. To this day, I still call my girls my bitches. And it's not derogatory. I'm not using it in a derogatory way, in my opinion. I can see how it may offend someone else, and I respect that. But when I'm saying it towards my girls, or even my male friends, even my excuse me, my gay male friends. We call each other bitches all the time, but it's not, I don't get offended by it. So, but I do understand the offense, and I understand other people getting offended. So I am insightful of that, and I am respectful to that. So, you know, but to each his own. I don't get offended by it. That's me.
What
Right.
about DC?
Because see, when I was about to say, like, it depends how you use the word. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking to your regular friends and that's who you talk to and that's how you talk, that's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? But like I tell people, don't call me that. I know that's how you talk, but don't call me that because that's a
And
fight
I
word.
respect that.
I grew up in the city in DC, and if you call me that, you about to get clumped. Put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the individual. If you used to talking to your friends like that, they understand. But you don't think you can't walk on the street and think you can just say that to people because that's the way you talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's exactly what I want to say to the to, you know, my G men, and to you know, to my G men or my G brothers. Like it's one thing, like it's a lot of derogatory stuff we say to each other or amongst each other. But like when we're in an open crowd or whatever, you know, when we're saying it like around straight people or whatever, when we're saying derogatory terminology to each other, what we have to realize is what we're doing is we're giving other people permission to say that to us as well. So we have to be very careful with that. And also with the word be, you know, like we have to be very careful with that word because, you know, like there are a lot of people like myself who get offended behind that. You know, and although, you know, like, you know, it might be terminology within the L, we know we got like our own little culture going on within the LGBTQ community, but we have to be very mindful of, you know, like what the LGBT community versus, you know, like, you know, the, you know, society as a whole, because and it can't, don't think that it can be forced. It shouldn't be forced because there's things that we're missing out on. Like just for instance, we wouldn't want anyone to call our mother that word. We wouldn't want anyone to call our, you know, my grandmother that word. And, you know, in a lot of ways, some of our terminology and some of our slang these days takes away from the respect of our elders as well as ourselves. And we have to look at, you know, like how we look in terms of how we respect ourselves when we use these terminologies.
I get that. I do want to bring up derogatory terms in the LGBT. I think it's offensive to call a gay man a fag. I think I take offense to that. I also take offense to calling a lesbian woman a dyke. I take offense to those words. So those are words so I can understand in society people getting offended with the word bitch. Now again, bitch don't really offend me that much. I mean, I don't want a man coming out saying you bitch. No, I don't. But I do call my girls bitches and my girls call me bitches. Now, is it right? I don't know. It's just something that we grew up doing and we're not offended by it. But you know, I get it.
And all right, and I also like to say Deshaun Farley and shout out because yes, he's a very respectable brother. And let me say something too. Shout out to Deshaun because we had how we originally met was on Properly Bonafide's channel, and we were discussing the same topic. Okay, and Deshaun Farley called in and he was like, you know, why do all black women think that all black men, you know, are, you know, hateful or dislike black women? And, you know, and I had to say that I know for a fact that not all, you know, black gay men, but, you know, like what we have to realize is when like there's a majority or a big number of them, you know, that, you know, do behave in that type of way, it makes it look like, you know, people generally generalize or they stereotype and they put everybody up to the whole. And also one of the things one of the things that we also have to realize is that, you know, like we have to teach people to do better. Like, for instance, if we see somebody and, you know, if we see someone and, you know, they're doing it and, you know, we're just going to take into account that they don't know what they're doing. Okay, that's how we're going to look at it. Not like they're doing it purposely, because in a lot of ways, these are abusive behaviors. So, you know, like we, you know, like in that instance, it should take a man or it should take a G-man, you know, a G-man, a gay man to, you know, address another gay man. Just like, for instance, if it was the same instance with a lesbian should address that's not right. Even if it's not us, that's not right. Don't do that. This is the consequences of that. So I like to shout out to Deshaun because Deshaun did address Sean Bradley, and you know, and it wasn't in just necessarily just a negative way. It was an opportunity of learning, an opportunity of growth, an opportunity of communication. But there are some people who don't like constructive criticism, and that's bad, because the only way we're going to grow and get strong and to possibly unite is to be able to communicate and hear both sides of the story, and to be able to like actually empathize with where each other is coming from. So I like to shout out to Deshaun for doing that. He stepped up. He's like, no, I'm not one of these people. And look, this is what, when you do this, this is what you make all of us look like. And we should not do this. Okay, because
I really in this sector, with our G men, I've never heard any of them call women a B, except for Sean. But Sean has that relationship with his followers. The same way, like I said, I wouldn't get offended with him saying it, because I don't think he's doing it in a disrespectful way. So honestly, I think it's like where you come from. A lot of cities and states don't use it. Some states do. So it's like a cultural thing where you come from. And that's how I take it. I mean, I don't see that. I can understand why you would get offended by it. I truly do. But then I do also understand using it in just a lingo, like nigga. Honestly, it's demoralizing just as well. But a lot of people use it, and when we're using it with each other, people are not really getting offended by it. It's the way, it's who's saying it, and you know at what point you're saying it in. So it's like, to me, it's the same difference.
All right, DC, you want to weigh in on that?
Right, like I said, it depends on, like I said before, it depends on how the person use it. Like you said, if that's what they say, just like we say nigga all the time, I do it. I say it. Not to call you a nigga, you know, but it just comes out like that, just like the B word, you know what I'm saying? I don't use the B word. That's just not my forte. But I do have a lot of people that say it, but they know not to say it to me, but that's how they talk. That's just them.
Yeah.
And then see, we have to realize as well, just like, for instance, just like because you know, I get it. Like, we have to realize as well, just like when other cultures are around us, if that's a part of the slang, and you know, just say it's the majority of us and we using it, then it slips out their mouth, then we get mad at them. We don't have no right to get mad because we're using it towards our own self.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
You have to look at like what lines and how we are allowed, you know, what is the overall effect of, you know, name calling and derogatory terminology does to us as a whole. But I want to read what Jacqueline says. She said, it is used to dehumanize a person. Once a person is put in a category that is not human, it is easier on their conscience to attack them. And that is very true. That's very true.
Yes.
And let me do this. Let me say this all up front as well. One of the things that we have to consider, and one of the things that we have to remember, is there will be no life here on earth, period, without the Black woman. Okay? There would be no life here on earth without the Black woman. The Black woman is the womb man of the entire planet. Okay, now everybody has to come through a womb. Okay, now whether you know that woman is a good mother or a bad mother or whatever, the thing that I feel, or the thing that, because it's all kinds of pain. That's 9 months of torture. Sometimes body doesn't go back like it used to be. Okay, as well, you know, some people, you know, that's it's a 50-50 chance you'll lose your life, you know, during childbearing. Okay, as well, you know, you have to consider, you know, that's a choice that they made, because whether they say abortion is legal or illegal, whatever, you know, we know that there are homemade remedies to abortion, and I'm not advocating or condoning that. I'm just saying we know, especially within our community. So for us to be here today and for us all to have life, we have to say that we owe that to that woman for carrying us at least 9 months, feeding us, making sure we didn't die, making sure we came out their womb and we have the opportunity of life. So for nothing else, you know, I think that, you know, like women should be respected for that. Okay, now a lot of the things and a lot of the culture and stuff that is taking place these days, especially after, you know, rap music and all of that. When we, you know, like everything, you know, because when I was coming up, you know, we had Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, we had all that love and harmonious music. Then all of a sudden, you know, it went to, you know, be this, be that, H this, I'm gonna screw you, and all of that. And it took away from a lot of, you know, a lot of that family love, a lot of that family respect, you know, a lot, you know, a lot. It took away from us, it dehumanized us a lot. Okay. So we have to, you know, look at that, and you have to honor, like, we have to honor, like, you know, like we can argue about a lot of things, but one thing we can't argue about, based on the fact that the oldest bones are women, based on the fact that there was a time when the entire planet was asexual with parthenogenesis, based on the fact that, you know, based on those things alone, we cannot argue with the fact that, you know, the Black woman was first, and that she and the Black woman created all other races, or gave way to all other races. So just for that reason, Black women should, you know, we definitely should be honored, upheld, and respected. You know, and so by us, you know, and the way to take out a race is to take out their women. When you take out their women, then you're enabling that race. So we have to consider all these things in terms of our survival. We have to consider all of these things in terms of, like, what are we really doing to ourselves? You know, like when we're using derogatory statements and different things, like when we're dishonoring the woman. And every gay man, every trans person, everybody, every LGBTQ person had to come through had to come through a womb. So, you know, for that reason alone, there should be no disrespect, you know, to a woman, whether, you know, you want to be one, you know, which not all, you know, gay men want to be, just like they say we want to be, I want to be a man. No, I don't. I like the fact that I'm a woman. I know that I'm a woman. I don't have an identity crisis. You know, I don't have an identity crisis. And so therefore, you know, like, I don't have any distill against a brother. And so, you know, any distill, because, you know, they're our uncles, they're our brothers, they're our fathers, they're our family. So, you know, we have to look at those things and how we treat each other. Okay. So I'm going to get back to the topic. I just want to go on that little spiel right quick. And that's dealing with the Sean Bradley portion of it. Okay, now the next thing was with the trans. It was the T.S. Madison and the MaxiPad incident, which brought up, you know, should
Maybe
trans?
I don't know what's going on.
BB.
Yeah, you guys. I don't know what happened. Am I on?
Go back out.
I don't see.
Yep.
Go back out. Go out and come back in. Okay, and with the fact that the T.S. Madison situation, and with the MaxiPad in the bathroom, which brought up the conversation, should trans women be allowed to use female or women or female restrooms? And it also brought up a lot of safety issues. Just like, for instance, I'm gonna say, you know, like, it's not that I don't have anything against trans, you know, women, but like when it comes down to thinking about the restroom issue, first of all, when you're talking about a MaxiPad, that's something, you know, that we can't get around. We cannot get around, you know, our monthlies every month. And that's something that, you know, is very natural, you know, and it was a clean maxi, you know, clean maxi. And so, you know, that, you know, like they have maxi machines in there, you know, and maxi machines in there. So seeing a maxi, clean maxi is something that we as women are used to, and something that we just have to deal with all together overall. All right. As well, like I think about safety issues, like, for instance, like there's post-op trans, and there's post, and there's pre. Okay, now, you know, and I don't want to get, you know, look, I'm not trying to take nothing away from nobody, but what I think about is, what if a man were to dress up like, you know, a rapist, a serial killer, something was to dress up like a man?
Look, this is how I see it. A trans woman, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just have to interfere with that.
And go into the women's restroom, it would be unsafe. So I propose that, maybe we should look at 3 restrooms, since, the trans don't feel so safe all the time going into the male restroom. Maybe there should be a 3 restroom situation, and then it'll be safe. It'll be safe for all. I'm not saying, because I really don't feel like, like I don't feel personally that it would be safe, really safe. And not because of the trans necessarily, but, just because, I think that, some predators would use that opportunity to their advantage. But go ahead, BB.
I feel like trans women, they are women. So they have to understand what women do, what we are, and how we operate, period. And if they're going to go, if they want to go into the women's bathroom, sometimes they're going to see a pad. Sometimes they're going to see a dirty pad. Sometimes they're going to see piss on the floor. Sometimes they're going to see piss on the toilet. It just is what it is. Women, it's some nasty women out here. It's not for you to degrade us because now you're a woman. It's just like a trans man going into a male bathroom and saying, "Oh, ew, I see a dick." No, sorry. I'm sorry.
You messing up the bag. I ain't even monetized, but I'm just saying we need to get used.
I'm sorry. I see a pee. I apologize for that. If you want to be treated, I do apologize because I'm really trying hard not to say those words. So I apologize. If you want to be accepted into that world, you have to know that, okay, learn some stuff about yourself now because you are transforming into the opposite sex. And these are the things that women and men go through. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And DC, you want to weigh in?
I done got off.
I'm sorry. I swear I did not mean to use that word like that. I do have to catch myself because I have a potty mouth. I'm sorry.
That threw me all off.
I'm sorry.
Well, I work at a university, and we do have a trans, and she does. Well, I didn't know at first until somebody brought it to my attention, and she actually uses the female's bathroom. So, I mean, I don't have no problem with it. As long as we, we ain't trying nothing, we good. But see, it's the same way. When I go to a female bathroom, especially if not at my job in publicly, let's say that, there's issue with women like, are you in the right bathroom? You know what I'm saying? That type of shit.
Yes.
So,
you know.
It
used to be like, show them your sports bra.
Yeah, right. Can I just say something too about my opinion or why they feel like straight women have something against gay men? I think this is just one of the reasons. It could be, I know it's a lot of things, but one of the reasons I think is a lot of women, and they could be black, white, anything, they're hurt because they have experienced being in relationships with men that have left them or cheated on them with gay men. And a lot of that hurt becomes hatred. A lot of women feel intimidated by a gay man because they possibly have or in fear of losing their man to a gay man, because a lot of gay men, they prefer straight guys, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're really straight if they are, in relationships with a gay man, but quote unquote, that's what it is. So the hatred that I think some of it, I'm not saying everything, but some of it is equated to women being hurt, angry at the gay black men. That's just my opinion.
Okay, DC?
I mean, I got confused with that right there for a second. I think
because that was the question, right? They wanted to know where you think the hate is coming from the straight men with the gay, the straight women with the gay men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that, QI?
Wasn't that one of, didn't El Teddy ask that question?
Well, okay, that's specific, you know, because that's just saying that black women only the black women are hating on the gay black males. But
no,
like,
I said any. It could be black, white, Asian. It could be all types.
No.
It's not just really to the black.
no, I'm saying it was about black though, but it was like more or less like black woman versus where did the gender wars or, you know, the sexual orientation war between the black woman versus the black gay man. So, you know, like where, you know, the conflict and the friction in this sector. And you know, why is it
this sector? Oh, I'm sorry, I took it abroad.
okay? I mean, you did good. You did good. DC, you want to weigh in?
Don't DC cracking up at me. I ain't high, y'all, and I don't drink. I don't smoke either. And I drink a little bit.
I don't do nothing. I'm just plain straight.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
I mean, it's just like I never encounter people, how do you call it, hating on others. You know what I'm saying? I've never been in no situation where I actually seen people bashing one or the other. You know, look, I'm 53 years old. I try to stay out
of this sector. Look.
I try to stay out of stuff like that so I can live my life. But it is sad if they are bashing, because it's like we all in the same boat. So like, why can't we just all get along? You know, help one another. You know.
And there is some bashing on both sides. You're right. There's some bashing on both sides. You know, they're definitely on both sides. You know, but let me just go ahead and sum it up. Where did it come from? It actually came before I told you where it came from within this sector. Now, let me tell you where it came from within society. Within society, first of all, well, I'm going to run through this real quick because I've already did, you know, lessons on this. Patriarchy, like the whole world was a matriarch. Okay, because it was asexual, it was a time when only women existed, and I'll get to something else later. But then, anyways, pretty much the patriarchy was created by a group of Greek people, Greek men. The Greek men they analyzed a group of sheep, and they came up with this system, and they pushed it through religions. Okay, now it's there's several people out there that have information on this, and I have the links in my description, so y'all will know this is not something that I'm just saying. This is actually real information. This is real history, real information. Give me 1 second. Let me put this book up. This is one of the books here. Give me 1 second here. Let me find it.
See, don't be trying to like show off your waves now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because I'm still in the shallow end. You all in the deep puddle already. Okay.
And it's on Amazon. This book is on Amazon. It's Customs and Athenian Patriarchy by William Blake Terrell. Plus, you can, you know, look up PDFs on it. Just put up Patriarchy created by the Greek sheep herders. There's a lady named Lerder. Jerder. I meant to look her name up before I came on here so I would pronounce it correctly. But she's on YouTube, and she has done a lot of research in history, and she brings forth that information as well. So the entire world has not always been a patriarch. Patriarch was pushed. It was pushed through a lot of different religions, not just one. Okay, now, so when we're talking about the women versus men. Where did this whole thing come from? It came from here. It came from within us, the black people. It came from our black churches, our black religions, and it's referred to as toxic masculinity. Now, what toxic masculinity is the thought process or the idea that, you know, women are property. Men are superior to, you know, women, and women, you know, are, you know, like pretty much animal, like sort of like property or animals. Okay. Now it's also, you know, like a lot of this came from verbal and spiritual abuse or church hurt from, you know, the church or the religious community shunning the LGBT community. And it goes both ways. Because when I say toxic masculinity, I'm not just referring to a lesbian can be a toxic masculinist, a woman can be a toxic masculinist, a man could be definitely, can be a toxic masculinist. And not all men are toxic masculinists. So let me put that out there first. Not all men are toxic masculinities, like which saying that the male gender is superior to the female gender. Not all, which is not true at all. Especially when you look at the fact that women were here first. We have 36 chromosomes. They have like a half of their 18. We're X's, they're Y's, and bam, bam, bam. Okay, so. And I'm not saying that it should be a competition thing, because I'm gonna break that down a little later too, and I'm gonna sum it all up for you. But there's a big agenda at hand, because when we look at masculine energy, one of the components or one of the characteristics of masculine energy is ego. Ego and any of the 7 deadly sins: greed, sloth, envy, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so with that greed and that envy and this ego and different things like that, it comes a lot of abuse, and a lot of whether it be verbal, mental, physical, etc. And not just from black men to women when it comes to toxic masculinity, but also from black men to black man. Black man to little boy, because look at the pressure. And I've talked about this once before. Look at the pressure that sometimes, men put on little boys. That's not, you can't play with that doll. You can't wear this. You can't, that's girly. Look at the amount of pressure that's placed on, a little boy to, fit within a box. And not to be, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you gonna be a player. Oh, you ain't doing this yet. You ain't hitting this yet. Oh, you still a virgin. Okay. And likewise, on the flip side, it's that this system is taught. So this system is taught, like I said, through religions. So that's why, it's a mental thing more than it is anything. And that's why I said, like with women, it's also that idea of toxic masculinity. They also can be toxic masculinities. And that would explain the black on black woman self-hatred. Okay, why are we, like so quick to be so hard on, another black woman? Oh, well, she thinks she all that. Or look at her hair. Or, and then you like in situations where, the man is cheating, the women go after each other instead of going after the man. This is like where a lot of these attitudes and a lot of this comes from. It's toxic. It's the cause and effect of toxic masculinity. It's the cause and effect of, just like we know in the black church, they are LGBT manufacturers, which means that a lot goes on in the black church, and we know this. And as long as we keep denying this, then, it's like we're the ones that's docile and dumbing ourselves down. But we know that a lot of pedophilia, a lot of things go on within the black church that shouldn't go on. A lot of times these first ladies, oh, that's the pastor. Don't say nothing about it. Keep it quiet. Okay. Or even within our black families, the black, the dysfunction or whatever, oh, that's Uncle Johnny. Just stay away from him. Leave him alone. Or, like as long as Uncle Johnny is free and he don't get no help, Uncle Johnny gonna take on another victim. All right. And then we be knowing that, like our brother or, our uncle is physically abusing, their wife or their children. Yet we keep it quiet. And we don't realize that we're perpetuating the spread of this dysfunction. And all of these characteristics, war, you can look it up. I did a topic on this on a past stream. And I have links in this links in the description as well as the chat. You can look it up. But the war, anger, abuse, rape, all of these things are effects of toxic masculinity. And when you say abuse is emotional, physical, and verbal. Okay, so when you're and what I mean by that is and although we think, just like for instance, I'm a spiritualist, I'm not a religious person, okay? But I was brought up, Christian, just like, the majority of the black people in America, because it was one time where only Christianity ruled. Because, I remember the statement where, they gave slaves the Bible. Okay, so for the majority of time, Christianity ruled in America. Okay, so like, although, we want to think that we've gotten away, like even as a spiritualist, I want to think that I've gotten away from that complete thought or that complete mentality or that complete frame of mind. I haven't, completely, because a lot of this stuff is ingrained and instilled, and it takes hard work to get rid of these beliefs. And then it has to be brought to your attention sometimes, and it has to be known that, hey, maybe this ain't, this ain't good. This ain't the right belief. This is damaging. This is poisonous. So, that's where a lot of where a lot of the black woman against the black man and the black man against the black woman come from, because it's not a gay man. It's not just a black woman against a black gay man situation. Altogether, if you look around YouTube, from O'Shea Duke Jackson to Tommy Sotomayor to Obsidian Radio, it's a gender war. There's a gender war altogether happening here on YouTube as well as society, and all of this stuff comes from church. It just happens that in this sector, like it's predominantly like a lot of gay men and predominantly black straight women, I would say, I think. Because I feel like we're the lesbians are not that big. I think I could probably count us with 2 or 3 hands. But so that's pretty much where where, because just like, for instance, when they were bringing up on the gentleman's panel about bottom shaming. Bottom shaming comes from toxic masculinity. Anything that's looked at as feminine is looked at as less than, like masculine.
Right.
Okay. And when I brought that up, that's what I meant. That's where it comes from. And that's what I was saying about like some of the stuff that they were saying as well. Like when they spoke of lesbians, all like security guards, fighters, and negative connotations. Whereas when they spoke about gay, it was good. And I'm not, bashing, I'm not, attacking, I'm not nothing like that. I'm simply bringing up the conversation to bring it to my brother's attention. Because, we have to realize that we ourselves sometimes perpetuate the exact behavior that we ourselves don't like. And so in order for us to, get it together, we have to stop these things, and we have to have communication, open communication. We have to also, be able to listen, understand, empathize, as well as tell the truth. Honestly tell the truth in order for us to solve, like our issues and our problems, and for us to grow. But now that I went on that spiel, what do you two think about the situation? Do y'all think that the black church and toxic masculinity and all of these different things have had an effect on the relationship between gender wars as well as the black woman and the gay black man?
DC.
She say DC, babe. Treat me like she's not right. Well, see, me personally, I live out here in Virginia, predominantly. We don't have too many black folks out here, so it's like I go to a Catholic church, born and raised. So I really don't know what goes on in that type of environment when it comes to, you're saying, the black churches. So I wouldn't know how to respond to that because I've never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I didn't grow. I mean, I grew up in DC in the city, but it was like totally different. I've been out here like 15 years, and like I said, I'm born and raised a Catholic, so I don't know. I never experienced nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't know how to respond to that.
And I didn't either. I was born and raised in Jersey, and where I'm from, my family, a lot of people in my family are gay and lesbian, and our family has always accepted them. The churches that I went to always accepted the gay man. But I'm not going to say because I haven't seen really no difference in the church, them discriminating or treating anybody different. Like they just love you because you're family.
Right.
And what it did was it brought awareness in my family, because if you was like my oldest brother, he always thought something was wrong with you if you were gay. But it just so happens he had a daughter that's gay. And it opened his eyes. Huh?
Okay, so where do you think that he got that notion or that thought process that something could be wrong with you if you're gay? Where do you think he got that from?
He probably got it from growing up and when he was younger, because he's 12 and 13 years older than me. So I guess back in the 60s, it was frowned upon. And I know it was, because my brother right up under him that is gay was in a closet for so long. He dated women and everything, and it was always in him, but he was scared to bring it out. And like I said before, to this day, at his age, he is still like, you have never seen him openly say, I'm a gay man and this is my partner, anything. We've never seen it or anything. He keep it from around us. Why? I don't know. It's not like, for some reason, he still feels ashamed.
Okay, so where do you think, so you're saying it's because he grew up during the 60s. So why do you think they were like that they had that mindset during the 60s that, being LGBTQ was wrong?
Definitely, it started in the church, because at that point, everybody was into church. Church was everything to everyone. So I do believe it started in church, and then with Islam as well. It was a lot of Muslims around that it's like a religion base is wrong. You shouldn't do it. You're going to hell. So a lot of people grew up that way.
Okay.
But, I just know God has a way of humbling you. The thing you hate and fear the most is what he brings into your life the most to make you deal.
Okay. And so, and let me just ask you, let me just say this as well. You were saying that, yes, it's our religions. And, you wouldn't believe this though. Cause like I studied all religions. I just didn't become a spiritualist. I studied all religions. I read the Bible from beginning to end with the dictionary. And you would be amazed at how many contradictions are within all religious doctrines. Okay, first of all, in the Bible it states that you can have sexual relationships with a little girl as young as 9. Okay, and there are a lot of instances of the same thing that we're speaking of. Just like, for instance, King James himself was gay.
Hello, you're right. And he wrote the Bible, the New Testament, King James version.
And it's also about it's also a part of the religious practices and stuff of that deep Islam. The deep Islam. It's a part of the practices. And I'm talking about, yes, homosexuality. It didn't just start. Because I'm gonna break something down. Because like at the end of the day, at the end of this conversation, a lot of people are gonna know how to communicate and tell these people that being LGBTQ is natural.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of these preachers and religious pastors and religious leaders and stuff, they're ignorant because they do not know enough about biology, genetics, or anything to get up and say that. Because first of all, when you look at, just like I said, parthenogenesis, the fact that the world was asexual, like hermaphrodite, to give more people an example, hermaphrodite, when you say LGBTQIA, asexual is like it's derogatory to say hermaphrodite, so now we say asexual. Okay, so when we say that in the LGBTQ acronyms, that means a hermaphrodite. Okay, now when we look at parthenogenesis, a long time ago, so long we can't even imagine that the world was asexual. Where the gender was female. Okay, when you look at the X and Y chromosomes, and you look at the fact that, you know, like an X is a complete and it's 36 chromosomes, a Y is half. Now, this is not going to be bad, men. Stay with me, men. Stay with me, men. Stay with me, men. Please stay with me, men. All right, because this is not bad. This is opening up our eyes and our minds to what's really going on, and you know, and being able to have a conversation or a debate. Because just like right now, in just a minute, I'm going to break down why we need to unite. You know, why it's important for Black women and LGBTQ alike to all get along, because we have our rights being taken away right here before our eyes. And I'm gonna break that down in just a moment. But here we go. All right. And then for the first 50 days, while every body's in a woman's womb, you're female. Okay, you're female. And then see, the whole entire world was a matriarch. And then, you know, like because of the Athenians or the Greeks, it became a patriarch. Okay, so okay, at the end of the day, even if you're a Christian, it also tells you, says ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but the spirit does what? Linger on. Okay, and what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, it's only but one sex. We're all female. We're all X and Y. We're all female and male. Everybody has X and Y chromosomes. Everyone. 50 days in the womb is female. Okay. Okay. So, okay. And then let's go back to the ashes, dust to dust. Okay. We're spirits. Okay. Now, like for one thing, there's only one true gender, and that's female. Okay. And above all, we're not even supposed to be on a physical, you know, thinking level. We're supposed to be on a spiritual thinking level. And when you think spiritual, you think of yourself as a being. You think of yourself as energy. Because when you're looking at masculine and feminine, that's energy only. There are components and characteristics to that. So that's why you can have, you know, like a little boy that, you know, like is feminine, because that's that little boy's energy. You know, that's that components of them chromosomes. That's that little DNA. That's that little boy's genetics. Okay. So it's not wrong that that little boy is like that, and let that little boy be himself and leave that little boy alone. Likewise, just like with a little girl. Likewise, when it comes down to anybody else. So at the end of the day, we're all like, we equal. You know, we're all spirits. There's a reason why we went from probably asexual to, you know, split. And it's probably for a spiritual learning lesson, But here we go. But it's like, when they say, like a lot of society is saying that there's an LGBTQ agenda. When you look at what the Mayans and what different people are saying about this age, the age of Aquarius, the Great Awakening, it's like it's the return of the divine feminine. Okay, so when you look at that and you look at how our body and our genetics is made up, then you know we're all like female at the end of the day. So yes, that's why you see more of a more gay men, because it's not a human agenda. It's a God and a nature agenda. So it's more natural to be gay if or LGBTQ if you know if X and Y chromosomes, if that's what your body is comprised of. Now, I'm not saying everybody should be. I'm not trying to push everybody to. I'm just saying when you look at genetics, it's natural. And that just shows the ignorance of, you know, these pastors, these religious people and stuff like that. They don't know enough about, and they shun science. But, you know, like above science is God. And God is, and you cannot say that God doesn't have anything to do with nature. The trees, the birds, everything that we need comes from nature. Everything that we need to eat. Now, I know I got a little deep, but I had to bring that a little home. You know,
so got real deep. Okay. And El Teddy just got deeper.
She got so deep, I got to pull out my notepad.
Yeah, no. El Teddy got so deep. I just want him to come on and explain that for me, because I just got real long.
El Teddy, tell what you call to send you the link. Tell really be to send you the link, and y'all can send it to Deshaun too. You know, but you know, so like it's ignorant. So you know, like okay, and the reason I bring this up and reason I say we need to unite, because title, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put it up on the screen because I need y'all to write this down because this is very important right here. Title 7. 1964 Civil Rights Act. Right now, the Supreme Court for like the last week or two been in there, and we losing.
Yeah.
We're losing. Okay. They have been in there fighting, you know, because Trump and the Republicans want to take this away. They want to take this right away. Now, how are you going to take away some rights? We need more rights, not take away no rights. Okay. But let me tell y'all real quick what the Title VII is. All right. The Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of the 1964 is a federal law that prohibits employers from discriminating against employees. Okay. Now, origin and against employer. I don't know. I missed something, but origin and
religion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, origin and religion. It generally applies to employers with 15 or more employees, including federal, state, and local government. The agency is okay. Okay. So I missed the part, but that's what the Title VII is. The Title VII is what gives women and LGBTQ the rights to not be fired or the rights to be hired, the rights not to be discriminated in the place of employment. Okay. Now, all right. What they're not telling, they're putting LGBTQ out there at the forefront. So they're fighting it right now with LGBTQ at the forefront. But what we're not paying attention is it does not only include just the LGBTQ. It includes women. When you say gender, it includes women as well. It is the protection for women in jobs. And you think these people out here complaining about welfare and all of that kind of stuff now, Section 8 and all that kind of stuff now. Wait, if they get this law, if they get this right, this title removed, guess how many women and LGBT people are going to be unemployed? It's going to be an epidemic. And there's nothing that we're going to be able to do about it. Not sue, not go to the EEOC, and not go to Better Business Bureau. So it's so that's why we, instead of us like, and right now we're so busy fighting with each other, arguing with each other, when we really need to be uniting with each other, because right now we have the same interest at heart. Right now, we need to have we need to have our employment rights. We need to have our rights protected. So we really need to be working together instead of against each other right now. So, and what do you think about that, DC?
I just think that if people would be on the same page, you know what I'm saying, and learn to work together, that's just like, I hate to talk about it. Like, there's a lot of drama channels out here. Instead of trying to, make things right, they try to bring each other down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get on YouTube. I love YouTube. This is my job. And it's like, to get on here and hear people down each other, it doesn't even make sense. Like, why you put so much energy, treating each other like crap? I'm trying to watch my words, but treating each other like crap instead of working together. Try to build your channels and do the right thing instead of being so. I mean, I don't like watching drama, but same thing, instead of them working with each other and being, making things happen the right way in this world, things would be better. But you can't. A lot of people just can't change. That's just who they are. A lot of people just who they are. They just.
It includes women. When you say gender, it includes women as well. It is the protection for women in jobs. And you think these people out here complaining about welfare and all of that kind of stuff now, Section 8 and all that kind of stuff now.
Somebody got the volume up.
Y'all, shout out to REALLYBTV in the building. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. She has some great content and commentary. So y'all make sure y'all hit up REALLYBTV. And I love this sister because, she's all about education. She's all about, bringing up the right conversations. And she, just like myself, we're about, us bettering ourselves. So, I like to shout her out. And, before I allow you to just, say a few words, let me just read what J. Dot said. J. Dot, the Juke Joint says, science was birthed from a study of God. There should not be a conflict between the two. That's absolutely correct. Okay. Now, really, BTV, you want to say something really quickly?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for those kind words. I appreciate that. Shout out to the members of the panel. DC Kool-Aid, we probably ran in the same circles at some point. I grew up Catholic in DC as well, so we might know each other somewhere down the line. I don't know.
You must be from that other mother. You ain't know.
Exactly. For myself, the religion conversation resonated with me because even though I did grow up Catholic, my parents, my mom was Baptist, and I've had some experience with the quote unquote the Black church. And I do think this is something that J. was saying, that, a lot of this does go back to the secrets that we keep in the Black community. And, it goes across, it's across the line. I mean, how many of us have been to a Black funeral where somebody died and there's some surprise guests, family members we didn't know we had, and I mean? We keep these secrets. And even today I struggle with my mom, who still has that mentality of, well, it was before you were born, or blah, blah, blah. You don't need to know. And then you take that mindset into a sexual realm where you have, like you were saying, that uncle who gets away with the bad behavior. That's a nice way of saying that. But the bad behavior, let's not forget the aunt. I think a lot of times we forget that they're aunts that contribute to the bad behavior as well. And that is something that we, as a community, a Black community, we've got to get out of that mindset. We've got to get out of that mindset of the secrets, or keeping it within the family and keeping it behind closed doors, because that just further perpetuates a lot of the ignorance. I mean, I'm using ignorant just in the mindset of not knowing, but it perpetuates a lot of that ignorance, and it pushes forward a lot of these stereotypes and a lot of that, going back to what you said about that toxic masculinity. I deal with that in my classroom. And so that conversation really resonated with me when you guys were speaking on that. I was listening to the history lesson. I wrote down what you said earlier, QI, and I'm the kind of person, I'm going to research it. So I'm going to go. And so I wrote it down earlier, and I was writing down what you were saying, and a couple of those brothers that you mentioned. And I'm going to do my research, because I admit I don't know a lot about what you are speaking of, but I want to learn. So
you try and get that A+. I know.
Shout out. Okay.
I'm all about it.
Let me say this before I introduce our other panel guests. I put a lot of links and stuff like that in the descriptions tab, and hopefully they came through, and they should be in the chat above. But shout out to the brother who made this conversation possible. He is funny, silly, everything. The one and only Shondo, L. Teddy.
Hello, L. Teddy.
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Shondo to everybody.
Shondo.
What up? Y'all are silly. I'm just listening. I don't know.
Go ahead. Come on, I know you already. Yeah, go ahead. Because you had earlier. You said, because I watched your video from this morning, right? I didn't really break it all the way down, because normally I try to break it all the way down. But see, I was trying not to make this too lengthy, because it's so much that that needs to be said. So I was trying not to go in too many different directions. And like they always tell me, I go deep. So I be trying my best to stay somewhere.
Well, the thing about it is, let me start by saying I'm glad that you all accepted my request that you all speak on this. And so many times we, as REALLYBTV was saying, as Black people, try to shy away from very controversial topics and issues. And when we really think about it, definitely in this part of YouTube, I hate that word sector, but this area within the tube of you, it is a real thing. It's real. And the thing about it, and I spoke earlier today, and you might have saw it on my live, where I remember there was a time this summer where the streets were toxic. You just did not want to turn on YouTube and come to this area. You just shied away and you went over there to whatever other areas you like to play around in and said, nope, I ain't even going over there and dealing with them people. And it became a time where people just needed to be separated and say, nope, you go over there, you go over there. Y'all do not intertwine and intermingle. But I mean, if you really want to go really deep, a lot of the stuff that you were saying, QI, is correct about, you know, matriarchies and stuff like that. And a lot of the divisiveness amongst or the hatred toward the LGBTQIA community comes from those people descended from the Caucasus Mountains. We know that even within the LGBTQIA community, the white LGBTQIA don't see it for the blacks. Right. And they don't have our best interests at hand and have never had our best interests at hand. Right. Mind you, we were the ones who started the movement. The movement that the whole movement that started LGBTQIA rights started with black people. And then when they felt like they got what they needed from the black community, they pushed us to the side and said, well, we got this and let us take it. So let's just be honest here. The other thing about it is black gay men and black women have always been allies. Always been allies. And there's always the other people infusing their, you know, whatever beliefs and stripe and divisiveness on us. And every generation, they find some other mechanism with which to implant or impregnate that divisiveness. If you go back to when we first came over Plymouth Rock and stuff like that, it came because they forced us out of our own culture, meaning our language, our religion, our music, and everything. And like QI was saying, most of the countries in Africa were matriarchies. They were not patriarchies. The women did their thing in the villages. The men did their thing in the villages. They had companionship amongst each other. There was homosexuality. They only came into the villages for the purpose of procreation when it was that time of year when they needed to, you know, keep the line going. And that was it. For the rest of the time, the men were with the men doing what they do. The women were with the women doing what they do.
Harmony. And that was harmony.
And everybody was okay with it. They loved on each other. Let's just be honest. Then, so the first time that divisiveness came is when we came over on Plymouth Rock and they said, nope, we're not going to let y'all do what y'all want. We're going to infuse this Christianity on you. And now Christianity says that we're not going to allow you to have this homosexuality stuff. And so people started to look around like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Then the narrative got changed when we were deep into slavery, because now they said, oh, if a man is gay, he's leaving his family aside. And so now the security of the black woman is at risk because the black woman needs every black man she can to protect her from this white devil that's going to come and try and kill you and your children. So now if the black man becomes gay, now he's abandoning his family and now black women are at risk of losing their security because the black man is gay. Then you had the black church. Later on, the black church was rampant, early 1900s. And now we know what that meant, Christianity and all of that, preaching from the pulpits that if you gay, you know, this, that, and the third. That morphed later on into the AIDS epidemic, which then morphed later on into the DL movement. Now they're saying that there's the gay agenda and being gay is the new black genocide. And that's how we're going to kill our own race, because if you're gay, you are perpetuating killing off the black race. It's always something that some other group, probably descended from the Caucasus Mountains, is trying to put on us. And so I said this earlier, I feel like we're at the point now where it's been happening so much so from outside entities, we don't even need them to plant any seeds in our brain anymore. Now we just do it ourselves. Now it's just us saying, well, I don't like you, you don't like me, and then there go right there.
Self-hatred perpetuated on one another. And we've been taught that. Just like when you have, because when you really look at it, we got, like I said, it ain't even just black gay men against black gay women. It's gender wars all together. Then you got the black woman on black woman hatred going on. You just got, then you got colorism going on. We have so many hatred that, you
I
know.
do want to, and I really cut you off, so I do want to answer BB Nice's question. She said that I got real deep. Just to educate you and give you a little human embryology and science, it is
Yes.
well known that in the human embryo, the egg, wherever the sperm enters the egg, that becomes the mouth, the opposite end becomes the anus. So every human being has swallowed before. And there you go.
Okay.
Oh, but
I don't watch it. And I know I am on the L word, but every woman has swallowed before, whether or not you want, and every man, whether or not you wanted to. It's just science. Let's just be honest.
and then
Okay.
whether one body part or the next, it's just inverted and outverted. Some body parts, just like men have breasts, just like we have breasts. Theirs are just inverted. Okay, just like when you look at the vajayjay area, inverted versus outverted, but we have, you know, the same components. That's why
Women have Adam's apples.
Mm-hmm.
Women have Adam's apple. They do. Believe it or not, they do. It's just more pronounced in men, but it's just a hardening of the vocal cords, and it causes, you know, it's a truth. They have it.
And so, like, so it's us that's being. They have our minds wide shut, and they have a religion has closed our minds to the point where that's why we can't advance as a society, because like when it comes down to science and different things, and it was done on purpose, it was done to control us. Just like when you look at Nikola Tesla and you look at the Mayans, the fact that they had electricity back in ancient times. All right, a lot of people don't even know that, but they had electricity, and we could be getting free electricity. But you know, so the agenda is not. They have us looking at small things like race. They have us looking at small things like gender. They have us looking at small things like LGBTQ. So we won't look at the big picture. The big picture is it's man. They have us fighting against God and against nature. They have us fighting against God and fighting against nature. And see, nature, there should be no charge for nature. We shouldn't be paying for electricity when it's free. And then
we gonna pay to breathe in just a few shakes. Y'all keep playing with the white people. We gonna be paying to breathe. You gonna be like, oh, I ain't pay my air bill.
We already pay for air for our tires. Yeah. So I mean, and can I ask a question, QI, to the panel? So piggybacking on the conversation from the gentleman's panel the other night, and I, because I'm learning too. Do you guys, as members of the LGBTQ community on YouTube, do you guys feel that there is, and I know you spoke on it a little bit at the beginning, but do you guys feel that there is a, for lack of a better word, conflict between the Black women on YouTube and the gay men on YouTube? Or because for me, I see it as it being in this, on this, I hate the word sector too, but in this sector, but I feel like, and if I'm wrong, y'all tell me, I feel like it's more happenstance, because in this quote unquote sector, you have a lot of gay men, Black, and then you also have a lot of women, whether they be gay or straight. And I think when they get into a conflict, it's okay for people to dish it. But then when it comes back, then all of a sudden you're the victim, and it's, oh my goodness, he attacked me. He shouldn't talk to a woman that way, but you didn't call him everything but a child of God. But when he returns fire, then it becomes a man-woman thing, and men shouldn't talk to women that way. And I mean, I'm on, you know, I try to stay on the porch, so I'm on the outside. But a lot of times I see it. That's how I see it. Sometimes I feel like you pick, and it goes both ways. I'm not, you know, giving anybody a pass, but you pick. And then when the person returns fire, then it's either oh, you're attacking them because they're gay, or you're talking to women that way. You calling women out their name, but that same woman called you, you know, whatever slur you want to throw in there. So do y'all feel like it's that conflict, or do you see it that way? I guess I'm curious.
Go ahead, DC and BB.
Well, I feel like in this genre over here, I see that the black gay men over here kind of
Find that word. Find that word.
Find a word.
Get it
Find a
out.
word.
Get
Like
it out.
they
Just say
demand,
it.
That's what we're here for. Just say it.
they demand that audience. They demand that respect, and women are drawn to them. Period. Now, when it comes to getting into a conflict, I agree. If you can dish it, then you're gonna have to be able to take it. It gets a little bit. I'm gonna say I can say in the LGBT, we know how to shade like no other, so we can throw it back, and but straight women can't really do it like that, so it comes across very harsh when they're getting it back, so they get very offended quicker.
Right.
Okay, that's
So that's my opinion.
You just basically gotta take what you can dish. If you can dish it out, you never know what's coming back at you, because that's how it is. That's part of life. But sometimes I think dudes shouldn't disrespect women, but you can't say that now these days, because women just as bad as dudes. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that part of it is too, it's kind of what you were saying, BB, that you got to remember a lot of the women were attracted to those gay men because of the quickness and sharpness of the tongue, because of the personality, because they are gregarious. And what they got to realize is they, when directed in the LGBTQIA community, certainly the black gay men, I'm not speaking for all black gay men, but I can say in some generality about black gay men, you have had to fight all your life. Yep. You have had to fight the entirety of your existence to be accepted. You, even in the bedroom, you got to fight, because that stuff is painful sometimes. Okay, so you become very, very, very well versed at becoming strong for all of black gay men being called sissies and effeminate and soft. You have no idea, and maybe you do have some idea of the strength that it takes in order to wake up every day and just be who you are, and wake up every day and know that there is double standards that you will never be able to fall into, and wake up every day and know that it's going to be a fight today just to walk into a grocery store. Not just the fact that I'm a black man walking into a grocery store, but now I'm a black man coupled with I'm black, and it's just a whole lot.
Right. It's the lot.
So my point is this: when those black women decide, oh, I got a few subscribers now, and I'm going to come at this black gay man, and I think that I'm going to garner myself some extra subscribers from him. Let me help you. You're not going to win that fight. And I think that's part of the conversation that James was trying to say, because one of James Caldwell's responses, and I don't want to speak for him, but with the way I interpreted it, was when he said you don't want that fight, he was saying you're not going to win that. You're not a battle of words. That's not going to work in your favor. That's just like the white boy on the track team.
Nothing sharper than a gay man's tongue, a black gay man's tongue.
That's like the white boy on the track team or on the football team. You're not going to beat this black boy over here on the track team and the football team. He's going to wear you out. And it's just, it's kind of the same mark. You're not going to win. And so I think that's where some of it comes from as well.
All right, now let me show y'all what y'all just did. Y'all just participated in toxic masculinity.
We probably, well, I'm gonna say this. I'm not saying that I don't even think that is being toxic masculinity, but what I'm saying is I'm just calling things for what they are. I don't think it has to do with us being masculine.
Right, because of the culture, because of what we've been doing and how we've been programmed. But just like, okay, let me put it this way. Now, maybe not like in terms of like profiling, in terms of people thinking that, lesbians or studs are dangerous. We may not get that. But when it comes down to lesbians and stuff, we can look around in this community and we can see that lesbians are not taken serious. Like it goes back to, like I was saying, the bottom bashing. and how people view women. And see, lesbians are like, even though we, even though we have, like boyish or whatever, it still doesn't take, it still doesn't matter, because, we're still looked at as, we almost looked at as less than a bottle, in a lot of ways, where we're not taken seriously, or, we're not taken seriously. Okay.
Is that an offensive term that you can use to describe yourself, but I wouldn't? Like, would that be offensive if I were to say you're a stud? I'm asking because I don't know.
No,
would that be offensive?
That's not offensive. It's offensive if you call her a dyke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I know that's offensive. Yeah, I know that's offensive.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure about calling somebody a stud. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but so we're not like, we're not taken seriously. So, I get, and I agree. And I see it where, there's discrimination when it comes down to, like the black gay man. But on the flip side, it's like the lesbians go through it too. It might not be the same exact way, but we get hit as well. Because we're like, when you say that bottom, we fit into that bottom category where, like, we're not, like, for one thing, we go into church, the pastor, first of all, he gonna down talk us because we're a woman and we should be silent. You know what I'm saying? And see, y'all, now let's think about the black church. You gonna see gay men in there all day long, but then, like, I walked into churches, like my bow tie on clean. All of a sudden, the conversation go to, these gay people, and everybody know who I am. You know what I'm saying? And how many times do you see like studs in the black gay church? With our attire on. How many times do you see them in the choir? How many times? How many times? Because first of all, women ain't even allowed up there. Nevertheless, a stud. You know what I'm saying? So we go through it, we go through it too. We get our discrimination too. So it's not like, and I get it. I'm not taking nothing away from y'all pain. Y'all got y'all pain, but we have our pain too. And so that's why I'm bringing it up, because the only way we're going to understand, or only way we're going to see it, is if I speak about it.
Well, I wanted to say I wasn't bringing up the pain because I wanted to talk about, it wasn't really about the plight of the gay black male. What I wanted to say was, having dealt with that pain all of the time on a daily basis, that makes them a lot more stronger in terms of verbally being combative than most people tend to be. They are verbally are always ready. Most gay men, if you come at them, they are ready. They don't have to think about it. It will roll off the tongue so fast, and you will be hurt, and they ain't gonna think about you, and they don't move on to the next person to, hurt their feelings too. That's just the long and short of it.
Gotcha. And let me point out what you just said as well. Okay, we're saying in this sector, black gay men, black women against black gay men. I don't feel that way at all. I feel actually that most of the women in this sector love black gay men more than they will support.
Oh, they do.
More than they will.
Yes, they don't like us. They don't like us.
I gotta make this point though. More than they love and support black women, or even, black women, their own.
Oh.
They'll go to bed.
I believe that wholeheartedly. It goes back to the black church. Women are taught to gravitate toward men.
Right.
They are taught that. That goes back to the whole masculinity, that goes to the, patriarchal system that is embedded in, to the fabric of our society. So that is going to be a narrative, and that's just the long and short of it. Now, people are not going to admit to it. They're not going to realize it. But even if that male is gay, they will gravitate toward it. That is a part of that patriarchal system.
100%. This whole sector proves that, because you can look at every man that goes on, L. Teddy, Spill It Boy, Sean Bradley, all of y'all. Honestly, when y'all on,
I got
y'all
2
are the
subscribers.
cats meow. No, it's nothing bad. It's just a fact. Y'all are the cats meow. Everybody are drawn to y'all. When women go on, if we are not combative and ripping somebody up, we can't just have fun. Like, or we just can't talk
You are
about
right.
something. We can't just talk about, just have a conversation and draw a crowd of our own. It's not going to happen.
And
But-
when you do, the other women do what? They try to find things to try to, come at, this person, or talk
Right.
about that person, or
Right,
say
right.
that person ain't this, that, and the other. And then now what happens? That woman ends up having to be drugged in and sucked into the abyss of, being, fighting with other
Right.
women. And
That's
now you like,
it.
well, no.
Just to get an audience. It's all to get an audience. All we really want to do is entertain. But we have a harder time drawing our audience than men do. And that's the fact.
I mean, I'm not the best example because I got like 2 subscribers. I really have 2 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the
you
best
was
one.
on this morning and you had like 70 people in your chat in the early AM, okay? Because I was one of them. And everybody was getting their life, honey, okay? So don't even do it.
Yep, she called you out on that one.
Yes, don't do it.
Okay,
But you know,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think your point is valid, but what I think when I say we, I'm talking about the women in this quote unquote sector. I think what we have to do is we have to be cool with building our foundation on concrete rather than sand. And what I mean by that is,
Okay.
I know, and I'm gonna speak for myself. I make a conscious effort to stay out of it. I mean, I had to stick my toe in a few times, but I make a conscious effort to stay out of it. When we have our lives, we just have a good time. And if it's 10 people in there, it's gonna be 10 people in there. I mean, my chats, you know what I'm saying? We average around 40, 50, and I'm cool with the 40, 50. I don't need 300, 400 people in my chat. I'm cool with it. And we have our topics, we laugh, we joke, we tell stories. And you're right. If I were coming on there to talk ish and to go off on somebody and to cuss somebody out, I'll have 200 people in my chat. The most people I ever had in my chat was when I went in there and I was mad about something and I was venting. And all the word must have got out, because next thing I know, I looked up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Where y'all come from?
Exactly. And I was like, and as soon as I calmed down and changed the topic, my number dropped back down to 50. And I said, that's cool. Right. I said, that's cool, because these are the same 50 that rock with me anyway. You know what I mean? And so, but I think we have to be okay with that. Right. We have to say, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my content. And like I tell people all the time, the people will find you. It might take them time to find you, but the people will find you. And you just have to stay true to whatever your content is and not try to follow those trends and say, oh, well, if being rah-rah is gonna get me that viewership, then I'm gonna just have to be rah-rah, because again, like El Teddy just said, and what QI was saying, then we're buying into that toxic mindset. And it is a toxic mindset that has to be unlearned. It has to be unlearned, but it is a toxic mindset to say, if I'm cussing somebody out, that's the only way I can make money is to cuss somebody out. The only way I can make views is to talk about somebody. We got to change that mindset. There are I'm exaggerating, but there are billions of YouTube channels. There's an audience for everybody. You just have to find your audience.
That's true. But like real quickly, to go back to the question though, like about the black women and black men. So I don't see it that way. And then my question is, so do black gay men in this sector have an advantage or a disadvantage compared to
a good question?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
Ooh,
yeah, think about that. Do they have an advantage or this? That's a good question. I think, you know what? I think they have an advantage, and I'm gonna tell you why I think they have an advantage. And if I'm speaking to stereotypes, then work with me for a minute. I think they have an advantage because, like you said, black women love them a black gay man. They love it. They love feeling like they got that gay friend. They love feeling like they can have that conversation where they don't have to worry about. And y'all know I'm partial, but y'all know how I feel about James. I'm partial, but look at James. James can fill up a chat room talking about nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? People sit in there with James for an hour, for 2 hours. And I mean, yeah, we know he get the numbers when he going off, but when he just talking about life and shooting the breeze, he got 200-300 people in his chat because Black women love having that gay friend. You know what I'm saying? So I do think they have an advantage because again, the mindset that gay women, that women tear each other down. She ain't cute. What's the first thing when women start going at it? The first thing they attack, your looks.
Your looks.
The first thing they come at, what you look like, what your hair look like, your complexion, your people done made fun of me for wearing glasses. I said, well, damn, I ain't got nothing to do with the fact that I can't see. You know what I mean? But that's the first thing they attack is your looks. And they will take more off of the men than they will off of the women. They will let a man cuss them out. Sean, and I mean not to bring up names, but Sean Bradley cuss people out all the time. And they laugh, oh, Sean. Oh, Sean. You know what I'm saying? Let it be me. Let me call them out their name like Sean called them out their name. You know what I mean? So I think that's my 2 cents, and I'm going to shut up. I was talking a lot.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I truly do. But, you know, it is what it is. Like you said, you get who you get and be okay with that. If you come in on here trying to compete, that's where you get, indulged in the mess. You know, I watch everybody and you don't know. I'm in this house cursing y'all out. Okay.
Come on, cousin.
Y'all out. Literally I'm going from chat to chat. Like, what? But I'm not going to go out here and say that because if I did that,
you can start something.
My numbers would be up because I'll be windmilling all day, every day. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to. And a lot of times when people, period, when they come on YouTube, they come on here for entertainment. They don't come up here to be heavy, so heavy. So a lot of people want to keep it light. They want to laugh, joke, talk about somebody that don't got nothing to do with them. They want to instigate, they want to do all of that.
Right.
They don't want to, I don't think nobody really want to actually get into it. It's just something that happens, but unfortunately. But
that goes back to what we were saying before. I'll tell you about the pull up. Like if you really want to pull up kind of thing. Right. But no, I agree with you, BB Nice. Man, I call El Teddy all the time and vent about stuff that's going on in these YouTube streets. But I don't make no videos that he hear it. Me and James talk about it. I'll talk to people, but when it's time to, that's just not what I want my platform to be. Right. So I vent, I say my piece, I do what I have to do, and then I come on here, I do my reviews, I do my lives, and I go home. You know what I mean?
Yes. Wait, can I ask y'all a funny question? Like, have you ever, I know everyone have their favorites, right? Okay. So have you ever been watching your favorite and they say something that you don't like about another one of your favorites and you want to combat it so bad, but can't, don't want to get into it with your favorite, Yeah, right. Did you just say that about her or him? I don't agree with that. But you don't want to say it, but you kind of do. But you scared you're gonna get cussed out really, really bad.
I'm the one that listens to a lot of YouTubers, right? Lisa be like, now who's that fussing? What are they fussing for? Why are you talking about this person? Why is they screaming? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not a channel. We do lives. We do videos, challenges. We do a lot of vlogging, but it's just the principle trying to keep up with all these channels.
Man,
it's like that's too much. I be at work with the earbuds. I can't even hear my coworkers because I'm like, what did they say? But it's just crazy.
The funniest thing in the world to me is I don't get off the porch either. I stays right on the porch.
Right.
I don't bother nobody. I might be in the bushes getting bit by ants on my knees. I ain't gonna tell y'all why I'm on my knees, but I'm on my knees in the bushes getting bit by ants. Okay. Anyway, the funniest thing in the world to me is I'm over here minding my business. If you look at my channel, I make my content. I don't talk about nobody in my content. And I will watch something or somebody will send me a message, you know, so-and-so talk about you. I'll be like, the hell? I ain't even bothered nobody. I ain't even did nothing. And they over here bothering me. And then you have to make that decision. You have to think to yourself, you probably at work. You normally be at work or somewhere where you can't immediately respond. And you think to yourself, now do I bother myself to hand out these drug problems in the YouTube streets? Because they're going to get drugged. They about to get drugged if I decide. Or do I just pay it dust and just keep it moving for their sake, not for mine, for their sake? Because I'll tell them in a minute. I told REALLYBTV this. If you're going to dox me, please dox my address and come knock on my door, okay? Please, don't, no, you need to come knock on my door. That's all the doxing you need. You can come see me and pull up for real. But we don't do all that. And so I'm just saying, it's funny to me sometimes because me and we'll talk about it. I'll be like, you know, so-and-so called me and told me such and such said this. And I'll go and look and be like, well, I'll be damned. They over here going in on me. And I'll laugh sometimes. I'll be like, ooh, now you done said that about me. Now, am I going to... And so I know you all might have experienced that before where you be like, now, do I come off this good porch? Because then you got to think of, okay, if I don't, then they're going to think it's open season.
Right.
But if I do, then it does become open season. And now you perpetually windmilling. So now you got to make the decision. What you going to do?
Right. Right.
And being the old school YouTuber, being, you know, old school, you got to think, I always tell people, you got to think of the end game and not the present tense. And I think that's what gets a lot of, especially a lot of the women in the sector in trouble because they want the right now numbers.
Yeah,
oh, so-and-so got these numbers. I want those numbers right now as well. And then what happens is they're willing to do anything to get those numbers, not knowing you might just be doing the current fad and you haven't thought about the end game. And I say that because recently I had one of my reviews is David Makes Man, and one of the editors for the show left a comment on my channel. One of the actors on the channel on the show watches me. Now, why would I feel if they came to my channel and I got videos and I'm over here talking about, well, you know, Tracy is this, Fabe this, James Caldwell this. They gonna look like, well, what is this and who are these people? Right. And they never come back to my channel. Right, you see what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, and so they don't think big picture. They don't think end game. They're only thinking microwave mentality, which is the problem in the 21st century. Everybody has the microwave mentality. Yeah. For example, if you meet a man, you want to be in a committed lifelong relationship by the end of the month, as opposed to building that relationship. And it's the same thing with YouTube. People want to be able to have that, oh, I got my 1,000 subscribers in a week. But when you go on live, you got 4 people. You got 4 people in the live, but you got your 1,000 in 4 days. Come on now. That don't even make no sense.
But it's kind of like a peer pressure thing because I'm very new to YouTube and I'm struggling to get 100. And so when I'm breezing through and everybody like, oh, I got 1,000. Oh, I'm monetized. Not, oh, I'm not watching her. She don't even have 1,000. I feel some type of way like, damn. Well,
let me give you some advice, BB. I'm going to tell you this. Your first 100 to 500 subscribers are the most important people to you. Those are the most important people to you. You don't want to beg for them. You don't want to go through ulterior motives to get them. You want these to be the people that even if you like REALLYBTV said about James Caldwell, if you just come on the camera and do this, right? They're going to sit there for all them hours and watch you do nothing. I'm serious. Because they were there, they ride or dies with you. They was there from the beginning. So those definitely that first 100 I remember my old YouTube channel. If I wanted to, I could call every single name of my first 15 subscribers because I remember when I only had 15 for like 3 or 4 months. It was just 15,
Right.
and I knew their names, I knew their channels, I knew how many videos they had on their channels, and they knew me and they loved me. But that first 100 is so important. So I'm gonna tell you like this: you put your content out there and you let it sit there. Just let it live. If you putting out good content with DC Kool-Aid make her content, she ain't got to think about it because it might be 4 months from now and somebody gonna see a video from 5 or 6 months ago and be like, ooh, I like her. I like that. And that's residual money. You keep putting out your good content eventually, because what happens is when you do get to your 1,000 and 1,500 or 2,000 or 5,000, you want them to have a base of videos that they can watch, because when they find you at that level, they don't want to go and see you only got 5 videos because you got to your 1,000 in 4 days, so you only got 5 videos. They want to go there and say, ooh, they got a lot of stuff over here. I could go over here and have fun and just, you know, binge watch your channel. And then they're looking forward to everything that you make after that because they've gotten to know you. So that's just some advice.
Thank you,
LT.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then by then they're gonna tell their friends, you gotta check out, you know,
Yeah. Because I mean, I mean, I agree with everything else Teddy said. When I turned on the camera, I didn't know anybody on YouTube. I was doing a podcast, and somebody said to me, you should start a YouTube channel that will help you with the podcast. And I'll be honest with you, the podcast has now fallen by the wayside, and I do more on YouTube. So all these people that I've built channels, built relationship with, are people that I have met since I've been on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 2 years, and I don't even have 3,000 subscribers. I'm cool with it though. Because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You know what I mean? You know, and I keep telling this story, and I'll keep telling this story. El Teddy, I didn't know anything about El Teddy. El Teddy sent me a message on Instagram and said, I mentioned you in my video. I went to his channel and I checked out the video, and he was somebody who did a video about reviews he liked to watch. Now, he had my name in a video with Ashley Miller. Ashley Miller's got, what, 100,000 subscribers? You know what I'm saying? But I was mentioned in the same video, and I was like, thank you so much. I subscribed to his channel, and we started communicating from there. And so you just never know who's watching you. You never know where the connection is going to come from, and you never know how you're going to build. So when I turned my camera on, it was me, you know, and I was like, I don't know who's going to watch it, but.
And the last thing I'm going to say is be authentically you. Yeah. And something will spark, and just never lose yourself. I'm gonna tell you how my old channel got to where what I started my channel because I just wanted a place to vent every day, and I would make a video every day venting about what went on at work and how I hated everything. But then one day I made a video. My cousin's boyfriend knew I was gay, and I knew he was gay too, but he tried to come at me. And I got mad about it, right? I made a whole video, and I made this video called Yo Ass is Gay. I'm sorry for cussing, but that was the name of the video. Went in, talked about all the stuff he do that was just so gay. I went to work, came home, and the video had like 300,000 views. And I was like, wait, what the world? It was like on media takeout. I was like, oh dear God. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a lot of people came and then they wanted me to do a volume 2, volume 3. And you know, but it's something is all, if you are authentically you, somebody wants to see you. Somebody gonna be up late at night watching you smile and watching you and listening to your voice. I ain't gonna tell you the unsightly things they might be doing while they watching you. But they gonna have them a good time watching you on YouTube. Come on now. But yeah, just do you. Be you. Do not change who you are. Oh, and one more thing. Your subscribers come to you because of what you're already doing. And if that is the case, don't let them dictate what you do. You dictate to them what you want them to see, because they came for you. They came for you. So you keep doing you. You don't say, well, I'm gonna let my subscribers decide. Not that you might not do that every now and again, you know, maybe to get an idea or two, but they came because you already had content. You already had things that they liked about you. So keep giving them you and take them on the ride with you. You, as you grow, they will grow with you, and they'll take and enjoy the ride with you.
I have another question for you guys. This is for everybody. Do you find yourself a little territorial with your subscribers? Like, do you get offended when your subscribers like other subscribers? I mean, other content creators that you're not too fond of?
You know,
that's one of the biggest problems in this sector.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a big problem in this quote unquote sector. I'm not territorial over my subscribers. Like, if I see people in other chats, I'm really not. What does bother me is if I see people in other chats talking trash about people I like. For example, I'm biased. If I'm in James's chat and I know that that's somebody that was in James's chat talking about, oh, James, I love you so much. And then I see him, that same person in somebody else's chat, and they got something negative to say about James, that bothers me. I don't care about what my subscribers do when they not in my, I really don't. That for me, that's never been my issue. No.
Right. Because I watch a lot of people, not even in this sector. I watch people outside of this sector.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just like to know what people are talking about. I like to see what a person's frame of thinking is. And see, that territorial stuff, it is just for this sector, because I haven't been in any other sector where they do that, where you can't be over here and over here at the same time. You know,
one of the things that I love to do so much when I go to other arenas in YouTube or go to other people that I watch that has nothing to do with this sector, and I might be in the chat and somebody from this area or somebody subscribed to me might put a Shondo, they'll see me, they'll put, hey, Shondo, I'll be like, oh, hey now. And I'll put it in the room, and guess what that does? Now other people in the chat be like, well, who is that? And they might click on your link and be like, well, let me go watch him and subscribe for a little bit and see what he's doing. Since they, you know what I'm saying? I always tell people, when you start to build your, viewership and subscribership, one of the methods, the influence that you have is this. Go up in a chat where it's a lot of people. One of the big people chats, right, in this sector. All you do is say, hey to the person whose channel it is, and hey everybody. If you don't get several people saying hi to you, they don't see it for you. But if you see the people saying, hey so-and-so, hey so-and-so, hey so-and-so, hey so-and-so, then okay, I might could do this. Maybe the people, are watching me, they genuinely do like, what I'm doing, what I'm saying, things like that. So that's one of the things as well. Because I'm telling you, if DC Kool-Aid go up in the room, what happens? People be like, hey, DC, hey, what's going on? QI go up in the room, the whole chat stop. Hey, QI, what's going on? Really be go in the room, and they be like, hey, So those are things that you want to do.
So I guess I should just accept the fact that people don't see it for me, because when I go in the room, I just hear crickets.
No, it's not that. I said no.
Don't do that.
I'm joking. You didn't listen.
I said when you start to build your subscribers.
You know when people started recognizing me going into the chat, and I'm gonna shut up after this. When that whole panel went down with me and El Teddy and Heidi Snowfly or Jay Wilson, people didn't speak. I would come into chats and I would speak, and it'd be crickets. And mind you, I was sitting on 2,000 subscribers, but I wasn't active in the quote unquote sector. Nobody knew me because I did my reviews and that's it. So when I was going to chat rooms, nobody knew me, right? But when that whole thing went down and everybody was talking about it and stuff happened and comments were made, then all of a sudden I would come in the room. And it's
really bad though. That's when you get your popularity from something negative happening. Like
and
something
you don't
negative has to spin off for people to start noticing you around here. That's crazy to me.
Not really.
But you know what? But I took my happy ass and excuse me, and I got right back on that porch. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I never got off the porch. I never got off the porch.
I did come off the porch a couple of times. El Teddy didn't.
I stayed right on my porch and nope, we ain't doing that.
I took those new subscribers and either they were going to rock with me and they were going to enjoy what I was doing on my channel, or they was going to be looky-loos and they was going to keep it moving. And like I said, when all that stuff went down, my chat, when I would do a live, the numbers went up by like 20, 30, 40 people. And then once they realized, oh, she ain't over here, then the people who just want the drama, they left. I don't want that anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that anyway. So it's cool. Hey, look, QI, thank you so much for the invitation. I got to get ready to step out of here. I got to go do some content. I got to get my content together.
Thank you for coming. I really enjoyed you. I really do.
Thank you. And look, I'm a subscribe to you, and the next time you subscribe to me, and next time I go live, you come into the chat, you speak, I'm gonna shout you out, okay? So we're gonna get you some subscribers.
She's great. She's great.
I want to let you know I'm praying for your nephew. I saw that video. I'm praying for your nephew. I hope everything is going well with that. I meant to say that earlier and I forgot.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna pray for that. Thank you, QI, for inviting me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all much.
Okay. El Teddy, I really think that the gentleman's panel should do more invites. Start inviting us in a little more.
That was one of the things that I keep hearing prevalent about the topic that I brought up.
It don't have to be us per se, but
no, I'm saying that why you didn't bring anybody in to talk? Why you didn't bring a woman on that? I did that purposely. I did that purposely because I wanted to tag other panels and other YouTubers and allow them to voice on their platform and have all of the people go over there to them, which is why I purposely made sure I mentioned the L Word panel, and I mentioned other because I wanted, it's not a stingy thing. We like, okay, we got all these people, hey, we'll share the love because we all in this thing together, contrary to popular belief. We're not always just doing that. There's some for everybody. So that was the reason why I said, no, I ain't going to bring them on. I'm going to let them go and do their thing the way they want to do it on their platform, and all of the people, and send all of the people over there and let them know that they'll be doing that. I even this morning, I talked about it this morning in my live, said, hey, y'all go over there. They're going to do their thing, and we're going to be over there, and we're going to watch what they have to say about it. And I've seen several people. I saw LOCHEADBOSSLADY talked about it. I saw Olivia the Oracle was talking about it. Wiley was talking about it. BS can't keep the gentleman's panel out her mouth. Jesus. And
yeah. But you know what? Thank you very much, because that work. And we invited QB of the Midwest, right? And then instead, I ended up going on the gentleman's panel. And that's what we wanted. We want to show unity, like within the LGBT community, to be an example. So I'm so glad that, you did that, because, it gave for back and forth commentary, which will keep people watching. It'll boost the momentum. It's going to do a lot of different things. And it'll also educate at the same time. So, that was like one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. And just like everybody, even people who weren't part of the community was jumping in, trying to, give commentary to get to be a part of the fun. So yeah, we should do that all the time. In fact, I wanted our panel. One of the things I asked them to think about was a question that they wanted to throw back at y'all. You know, in terms of you know, like in terms of so BB and DC, did y'all think of a question that y'all wanted to throw back to the gentleman's panel?
You just throw that at me just like that.
I know, right?
Oh man.
You just threw that at me. Baby, you got a question you want to throw at the gentleman's panel?
From the lesbian perspective or from the L perspective?
She is an L.
I have a question.
Hey, Lisa.
I have a question. Do you feel as gay men that you guys support lesbian women as much as you possibly could or should?
I'm writing this down. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm writing this down. Say that again.
You want to come off the porch a little bit.
As gay men, do you guys feel like you support your lesbian sisters as much as you could or should?
Okay.
How about, and then another one is, how about, do you think that lesbians get in this sector, do you think that lesbians get the same same amount of support and respect as gay males? DC, Lisa?
Y'all got a whole bunch of questions for me, dear God. I mean, Lord.
Lisa? No, I ain't gonna say DC. Lisa.
Hi. Hey, y'all.
Wifey. What question?
Hey, Lisa. I love to hear her say, hey, y'all.
Like, when y'all gonna get off so we can go to this store?
Okay. We getting over.
You know, we got the 24-hour Walmart.
We just left there, too.
She coming.
I'll come around.
She a talking person. I always end up at the front.
L Teddy, this is DC's wife. They just
I'm very familiar with her. I'll be watching from the bushes.
I forgot.
I watch from the bushes. I told you I'll be in the bushes getting bit by ants on my knees.
Stop. You better get you some baby.
And you better come out them bushes.
I got some knee pads. I'll be on my knees in the bushes getting bit by ants.
I have been listening and learning. I have never had a problem with the Black gay male community.
You know what? I've never had a problem with Black gay men either, but I guess that wouldn't make sense if
any question. It doesn't have to be a question just centered around the problem. It could be any question that, you know, like you would possibly want to ask your brother, your fellow gay male brothers, you know.
Okay. I have a young man at my job. Beautiful little boy. He's like 22.
Oh, he cute. Oh.
Yes,
come on now.
He is gorgeous. He is beautiful.
Come on now.
So
I'm all ears.
But here's the thing. I heard y'all talking about families and everything. He is very out. He's very open with his sexuality. He doesn't want to be a woman. He sometimes gets confused for a woman. People will go ma'am to him. And he's like, oh, well, no. But the other day he wears, he can get a little naked on the ground. So
in the bushes with the ants on that knee pads.
No, he ain't in no bushes. He on the porch standing up with a flag and a flashlight.
Come on now.
Like, hello. But some of his family members were sending some of his more risque pictures to his grandmother, trying to elicit a response. But see, he's not in, he's out. Have you ever had that? Have you ever had family members, not people on the outside, but people on the inside who felt the necessity to use your homosexuality against you inside your family?
I venture to tell you that that's not the first time that young man has dealt with it, nor will it be the last.
No, he's right. But this time just irked him because he got his mom called him saying that they were sending pictures to your grandma. And he was like, well, did grandmama say anything? No, but I was just letting you know. Like she was ashamed of the pictures and in turn being ashamed of her son. So how do we deal with not the external.
Internal hatred.
But the internal.
Okay.
The people that are supposed to love us regardless. The people that put their kids out because they're gay. The people that don't speak to their family members because they're gay. The people that think that I'm gonna piss off grandma by sending the booty shots instead of realizing that this is somebody you're supposed to love
unconditionally.
I made you unconditionally.
But that goes back to toxic masculinity. That goes back to.
I want y'all to know I am writing your questions down. See your questions. I am writing them down. I'm not making this up.
I got one more. Thing.
Oh boy. No, go ahead.
Young Pharaoh. Have you ever watched Young Pharaoh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now he did a video. It's cotton ceiling. And it's pretty much saying that Black women do not accept Black lesbians don't accept the transgender community. Yet pushing the transgender community off on society. It's sort of that agenda thing. You can do this on your own channel, whatever. I just like to hear another person's commentary on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, I did not come here.
Y'all done gave the teacher homework. That's fine. I'm great at homework. Always been great at homework. Now, I must say that I will take this to my panel. I would not make any promises because it is a panel and we will, be democratic and make those decisions. But I will, make I will make these questions known to the panel. And one of the things that we do is, depending on who's hosting, they do have the autonomy to come up with the topics of discussion for that day. So I will make it known though, and we'll go from there. Thank you all for having me. It has definitely been my pleasure. I have enjoyed this is the most fun I done had with a bunch of women in a whole long time. Y'all got me over here. I do notice y'all got me on the bottom again, and you love to have me on the bottom, Lord. But,
well, next time,
I'm joking, man. I'm joking, y'all. I don't take myself that seriously.
I don't talk to that man like
that. Do not take myself that seriously, as Wiley calls us the bottom panel. Anyway, maybe we could teach him a little something about how to bottom. Hashtag DC Gate. At any rate, I will get on out of here. And it's been real. It's been fun. I appreciate y'all. Shondo to the room. Hashtag Shondo. Ladies, y'all are beautiful. Y'all are beautiful. Thank you all so much. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A pleasure. All right. So now, like, I done held y'all hostage for like 2 hours.
I got
yeah.
Like, y'all go ahead and say y'all final comments, and then we're gonna close out. So go ahead.
I think this was an interesting conversation. Good panel. It covered pretty much some of everything. We're gonna make BB Nice get up over the hundreds. We talked about.
You just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep going.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not in a rush at all. Okay, I just
BB Nice. I'm gonna tell you how this works in the YouTube business. You gotta stay active. You know what I'm saying? Regardless with your numbers, don't look at your numbers. Stay active. Like we do a lot of collabing. We travel. We go places to collab with different people. We done traveled. We done met up with Chrissy P. If y'all familiar with her. Who else? That other person, babe. Be Love Life. Y'all.
Oh, for real?
We done met up with her. We done met up with who else? I can't think of the other people. We done talked to we done talked to if y'all familiar with the Prince family.
I think so, yeah. The Prince, P-R-I-N-T.
The Prince family. They Bianca and Damien, they got over 4 million subscribers. We know their parents. We talked to them. It's just a matter of collabing, putting yourself out there, sell it. Like I work 2 jobs, so it's very hard for me to just jump on panels, because YouTube is like a third job, trying to get rid of the first 2 jobs. You see what I'm saying? But
right.
Busy. I post videos just about every day. If I'm not posting a video on that day, we going live. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, make your videos at least, even though you're not monetized, at least make your videos at least 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to have those little short videos. People want to keep watching.
Mm-hmm.
So,
exactly.
Uh-oh, your mic doing something.
Okay, I got you. Thank you, DC. Yeah, I will keep that in my hand. Yeah.
Go ahead and make your closing statement, BB.
Guys, thank you for coming out. If I didn't get to personally speak to everybody, I'm so sorry. I try to keep my eyes on the camera, and when I'm looking down, I don't stay focused within the conversation. So I do apologize. I appreciate everyone that came out. Again, subscribe to me. I'm not rushing. It's a slow and steady pace. I really don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this. It truly is a hobby, but it's something that I am growing to love. So, I will take everyone's advice with this because I want to do it the right way. I don't want to be arguing and fighting and fussing because I fuss at work. I don't want to come here and fuss too. This is supposed to be my Zen place, okay, to a certain degree. But again, everybody, love you. Thanks for coming out. I will see you soon.
All right, family. Thank y'all for the love and support. As you can see here, today's conversation was, to show unity between the LGBT community and to work out unity within the LGBT community, as well as, to discuss topics that, we really need to talk about. We can't get better unless we discuss these things. Okay.
Right.
And, we got some, we got blessed with the pleasure of having, two lovely, great content creators, L Teddy and Really
BT.
Really BTV.
Thank you all.
Wait, BB. Really BTV come on the panel. Because they've also been very supportive. They support a lot of small content creators and help them build up, and they have a lot of positive content as well. So I'd like to thank everybody who's been out supporting myself, who support DC Kool-Aid, who support J Don, who right now just lost her puppy, and who also support BB Nice. And until next time, I like to say love, peace, and hair grease. Don't forget to smash that like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And we're gonna go out, if you'll give me just a moment, with a biggity bang. Y'all can drop off if y'all want to. We're gonna go out with our little music here, okay? So bear with me just a moment, family.
Baby got the, go ahead. She got the music. Hum that joker.
Yep, it's in my head. It's in my head.
Yeah, hum that joker.
Now I had to restart my computer. I apologize earlier because I just froze up. Something just happened. I'm just like, what? Here we go. Love, peace, and hair grease, baby.
Hair grease.
Stop showing them waves.
Eu desci até o chão, eu desci até o chão, eu desci até o chão, até o chão, desci até o chão, desci até o chão, eu desci até o chão, até o chão, até o chão.
See y'all later.